Hello everyone, it's Kathy and welcome back here into my craft room and here on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in and I so appreciate you. As you can see, I have our new mini catalog. We're not going to be able to call it new very much longer because it's already been out probably a couple of weeks. So today what we're going to do, we're going to focus on one of the collections and it's called the Regency Park Suite Collection. And anytime you have a collection, it entails a stamp set, sometimes two, which it does here. We have two. We have Petal Park bundle, which includes a punch and a stamp set, and then we have Sentimental Park bundle, which is a stamp set and a set of beautiful dies. You also have a cane weave embossing folder. You have some textured shimmer paper. You have a beautiful blue Night of Navy, and it's a bordered ribbon. It's beautiful. You have some adhesive backed milky dots, which they too are gorgeous. And then you have the Regency Park Designer Series paper. This is a great collection for the cost. Now it's not cheap, it's $138.75, but you're talking about specialty paper, Designer Series paper, ribbon, embossing folder, gems, a punch, a stamp set, another stamp set, and dies. So I think it's an exceptional value for what you're getting. But we're going to work with that today, and let me show you what we're going to be working on. This is a prototype that I made, and I thought it turned out really cute, and it is a trifold. And it leaves you a panel here that you can actually write a message on. So when you open it, you have a sentiment you can put here. Well, of course, I've used this beautiful border, not border, I'm sorry, label die that has these little flowers, and you can decorate this however you like to be the colors that you want. I did use one of the stamp sets from the Sentimental Park stamp set, and this I used another punch, and like I said, here you could stamp more, you could decorate this, or you could just leave it open where you could do a handwritten message. But I thought it was a really cute card, and we are going to address on how to make this card in this video, so stay tuned. I'm going to show you what we've got to work with. Let me lay my catalog up here out of my way. And I'm going to show you the stamps. This is the Petal Park, and this is the Petal Park Builder Punch. And you can see you get 3 different size petals. Let me zoom y'all in just a little bit more. You get 3 different size petals and a leaf on this punch. And I think it's a great punch. I haven't used it yet, so if I use it online, I haven't decided yet, because we're going to put this together kind of as we go. Here is my Designer Series paper. This is that beautiful Regency Park Designer Series paper, and it is gorgeous. Look at these colors. Absolutely stunning paper. And the front, you get a front side that's more bold, and you get a back side that's a little more muted, and just beautiful, beautiful colors. And we're going to use this piece right here for today's card. And I am going to do the same thing that I did in this other one. I'm going to choose for my card base, I'm going to choose a balmy blue. Now I need to pull another piece of balmy blue, but we're going to use this piece for our accent pieces. So I'm going to lay this over here, and let's put this here. And now I want to show you those the Sentimental Park dies and the stamp set. Now these are photopolymer, and you can see I played with them, because you can see the ones that's got a little tint on them are the ones that I have used. But this is a really great stamp set. It's got a bunch of sentiments on it. It's got a big U, which y'all saw I used on the front of this. I put thinking of, I used the thinking of, and then the U. And then dear friend was from here, dear friend. And I used the dies mostly for my flowers, so I used this particular label die, and I went in with some of these little flowers and decorated, just cut them out in blue and put some little pearls in the middle. I hope you can see that. But I had so much fun playing with that card, and I thought it turned out absolutely beautiful. So we're going to try mimicking that again today, but we're just going to change it up a little bit. So let me grab a piece of my balmy blue. This does need to be cut a little bit different than our other pieces because we are going to cut it on the 8.5-inch side, and we're going to cut it at 5.5. And I'm going to show you with the trimmer how we're going to do that. So I'm going to put my 8.5-inch side up to the top, and I'm going to line it up to 5.5. And then I'm going to slice it. Now we have this little piece left over that we can use for die cutting or whatever we need. Now we need to put this in, and let me grab my notes so I can remember my score lines, because you do need to do 3 score lines on here to get that beautiful fold. So we're going to score it first at 1.5. So I'm going to put it in right there. I'm going to get that cut blade out of my way, and then we're going to score it 1.5, 4.5, and then we're going to open up our arm, and we're going to bring it down to 7 1/4. So 7 1/4, and then score. Alright, so we're going to take it out, and then all we're going to do is lay it down, and we're going to fold it so that it goes, the larger side is going to be to your right, and fold that, and then fold it over this way, and then fold that back that way. And you can see that gives us that fold. This is the same fold we have here. And it's just that simple. So I'm going to show you one more time. After you lay your piece out, make sure your larger section is to your right, and then all you're going to do is fold that over, fold that back, and then fold this over. Now we're going to come in and glue this side down. So let's just go ahead and do that now. And I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus, because this is a real easy way to glue this down without having any issues of anything coming loose on it. And you don't have to worry about wiggling it or anything. You're just going to seal that part over, so then this becomes your card. So that is done. So now we're going to go ahead and cut some mats for it. We need to decorate this. So to cut our mats, we're going to use this piece of Designer Series paper, and we need one that is 1 1/4. So I'm going to put this in my trimmer right here at 1 1/4. And move that score blade out of my way. That's going to be our first one. We're going to need one that is 3/4. So this is going to be a tiny one. I'm going to cut this one on this side. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3/4. And I'm cutting it on this side of my trimmer because you've got about 2.5 inches over here. So slice. And there is our 3/4 inch piece. Okay, I told you wrong on my pieces, so let me go back and tell you again exactly what you need to cut. And I do apologize for this bit of a blunder. When I was looking at my notes, I was giving you pieces for here, 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 and here. And in actuality, we need a piece here and here off of the Designer Series paper. So what that amounts to is you need your 1 1/4 and you need your 3/4 of that color. That's all you need for the front of your card. Now this piece is the piece that would go here. This is your 2.5 inch piece. Yeah, 2.5 inches. So this piece needs to be a contrasting color, and I'm going to use this. This is the back side of this piece. So 2.5. We're going to go ahead and cut that down now. And 2 1/2. The reason for that is the other piece that's going to be 2 3/4 is going to go back here, and I want that piece to be white so we can stamp on it or whatever. So we're going to cut this the same thing. This is all going to be 5 1/4 in length because our card's 5.5, and that gives us, now this is going to give us this different little look here that's going to coordinate, and here, and then my other piece right here. And see how pretty that's going to look together. So that's what you want to do. You want to coordinate your colors so that you have a pretty color all the way across. Now I thought about, you know, turning, not that one, turning this one, but the yellow just did not do it for me. I think it just takes away from the card. So I pulled back into that same pack of paper and pulled out this piece, and we're going to use it. Now these pieces are not going to go to waste because I can use them either with this side or this side on another card. So I'll hang on to all my bits and pieces, and I'll just stuff those back into my envelope along with this piece, and into my sleeve. So my little bits and crumbs, and I hope that did not confuse y'all too very much. You know what I did? I just put my piece that I cut back in there that's going to go here. So, okay, I'm a little miscombobulated. I've been waiting for my plumber all day today, and even though y'all will see this on Saturday, today is Wednesday, I try my best to record my recorded videos ahead of time so that it frees up my time to create and do other things. What I'm going to do before I go any further is I'm going to use my bone folder because I really want to get a super duper crease on this card because you got a lot of folds going on. So use your bone folder and really fold this down really well. So according to my plumber, they will not be here until tomorrow, but if it rains, which they are calling for rain all day tomorrow, they will not be here then either. So it may be even Friday before I get this all taken care of. But nevertheless, I'm keeping my wits about me, or at least I'm trying. I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece onto that front left panel, and you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, my glue is not wanting to cooperate with me either. I ran into this problem, so let me see if I can grab a different bottle. I think this one needs burping, but I can't get the lid off of it. So I'll tell you what, we'll just grab a different one. Let's hope that this one is going to work. I'm not sure that it is because... oh yeah, there we go. So let's just put some glue. All right, that one's working for me. And let's lay this down right about like this. And smooth that out. Now I'm going to take this piece and we're going to glue it in right here. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some glue. All over the back of this one and lay it in. About like that. Give it a good press so that glue adheres. Yep, that looks pretty. Now we're going to take this last piece, and this is going to go right about here. So I'm going to take my glue. It doesn't take but a little bit of glue, so you don't have to get carried away with it. And lay this piece right here. And there is the front of our card. That's simple. Was that not easy? I mean, it's so easy, and it's such a dynamic looking card. Let me see if I can get this excess glue off of my pen. I've got, I hadn't used this bottle in quite some time, and I have got a clump of glue on there. I'll tell you what, let me go and tend to this glue bottle, and I will be right back, and I will continue to show you how we're going to decorate this. I'll be right back. Okay folks, I'm back, and what I have decided to do is to use these two larger label dies. I'm going to cut one out of basic white and one out of balmy blue, and I also laid out some of the little flowers that I want to decorate this with. I'm going to also go back with a piece of scrap of Night of Navy. Let me pull a piece of that right now, and I don't need a big piece, just a small strip like that will work perfectly for those small flowers. So I'm going to grab my little, my mini stamping cut and emboss machine, because this will work perfectly for these smaller pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And the good thing about this is I can sit it right here on my desk. It's small. It is small, but it's a very powerful little machine. It doesn't cut as easily, I would say, as the large one does. And I say this many times, and you've heard me say this before, if you can only afford one die cut machine, invest in the large one, because it will do everything, where you will be limited with this in cutting anything that's any wider than this. I think it's like about a 3.5 inch base. So with the larger one you get a full 6-inch cut span. But for what I'm doing right now, this is going to work. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm not going to tape any of this down because nothing is having to be centered and cut directly out. So I'm just going to go willy-nilly and put this over, and I'm going to brace it up into my machine and then start my crank. And as I crank it, the weight on this machine is much lighter than the bigger one, so it does have a tendency to want to wiggle on your desk a little bit more, but it's okay. It still works beautifully. So there's all my little flowers cut, and I'm going to lay these over here because I'm going to go back with my other with my Night of Navy and cut this. And look at that. That's a beautifully cut piece of balmy blue. I'm sorry, I got a text message and it totally distracted me. I just want to make sure it wasn't my plumber. Okay, no, I did speak with my plumber earlier today, and it looks like I told you earlier, everything is being delayed a little bit, and I'm not even sure about tomorrow because we've got some really bad weather coming in. Hopefully they can get here and get everything in the morning before the rain starts, and we can hope for that. And let's go ahead and get these all off of this mat, this cut plate, and I'm laying those out right there. I'm going to go ahead and put them back on the Night of Navy, and I'm going to cut them again. And you're getting a variety of sizes of flowers, and these are little, but they're going to make an impact to our card, and you'll see that in just a minute after we cut our white piece. So let's bring this back over. I'm going to go ahead and, whoa. That's what happens when you're on camera. That probably would not have happened to me if I hadn't been on camera, but that's okay. Things like that happen. I'm sure it happens to y'all all the time. It is part of the process. So I'm just going to load those back on, and I'll load my plate back on top of that. And let's see if we can feed that through. I'm going to push that up just a bit. And there we go. And now we've got all these ones cut out of the Night of Navy. And then I'm going to lay my dies back on the magnetic sheet so I don't lose them. These little ones are so easy, and I know you know what I'm talking about. If you got little dies and you lose one, it is devastating, or at least it is for me. I have lost quite a few little pieces, bit odds and ends in my craft room, you know, from time to time. So I'm just going to take these and break them off right over here with my other flowers. Just like that. Now I want to cut this piece. So that bowed a little bit, so I'm turning it over. And I'm going to lay this down just like that, put my plate over it, and I'm going to go up a little bit higher than what my plate is. And let's bring this over, and then let's feed it in, and there we go. And now we have this piece cut, and see how beautiful this piece is. And you want to get all your little bits and pieces out of there. This is a good time for you to bring in take your pick tool, and it will literally pop these out in just a matter of minutes. Just poke them out like that. And if you have the brush attachment, you can use that. I do have it, but I just didn't pull it out, so I actually cleaned my card off today because I was looking for something. Didn't find what I was looking for, but I did find my brush tool, which I had been looking for it. So isn't that the way it goes? When you clean looking for one thing, you find something else that you might have been looking for previously. And that happens. Okay, so that piece is ready to go. So I am going to lay all of this stuff out of my way. Let's see if I can get all of my little bits and pieces off my plate. That works. And I think we're done with our die cutting. So what I had in mind with this is to slide this underneath this piece. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I thought we could sure try it. And what do you know? That works beautifully. Isn't that gorgeous? And that gives you that beautiful little piece, and it just literally pops up underneath those flowers. And I thought that was so cute. When I discovered that it would do that, I was like so happy. You know, it's the little things in life that make us so happy. Now you can see how these little flowers are going to come on, and we can actually offset some of these flowers with the second color, just like that. And of course I'm going to glue this all down. I'm just laying it out to kind of get a feel for how I want it to look. And what if we do some of the opposite? Let's do one over here, like that, and one here, like this. And let's do there, and then maybe one of these little ones here. That looks cute. And then we can do one of these right here. Let's do a darker one. These things kind of went every which way when I dropped them, or when I slid them off. Let's do a dark one here, and one of these in here. And you can see how pretty that's starting to look. And I think what I'm going to do is accent let's see, I want this one here, and then a dark one over here. I'm kind of doing every other one dark and light. And then we need this one right here. That's going to give us 3 right there. So I think what I'm going to do here is I've got one here, and then maybe one right here. And I need another little one. There we go. I knew I had one. And then we've got a couple more of these. We could put one right here, and maybe one right here. And see how that decorates that piece, and it just makes it really pop. So I'm going to spend some time now and glue these on, and I'm going to go off camera to do that because it is kind of tedious to get everything glued in just right. I'm going to do that, and then we're going to meet back up, and we're going to put some gems on here, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment on this piece, and then we're ready to put this on our card. And I'm thinking I might just do this piece directly on here rather than putting a white piece behind it or a blue piece behind it. If you noticed on this one, I made a flap that I put down, but I didn't cut this piece out to put the other piece under it. So that was just a different thing that I did. So let's try this and see how it looks. I'm going to glue these down and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see closer what I've got going on here. And I got everything glued down on here. The last card, that first card that I did, I used pearls on it. See the little pearls? They don't show up on the camera quite as well. You have to really get close. They are pretty, but I thought for this one I would do maybe a few of the rhinestones. And I'm going to use these leftover little ones that I've got on this one sheet. So I'm going to take these off. And I'm just going to stick a rhinestone in the middle of these little flowers just to give them a little bit of and I think it's going to really make them pop, because every flower I think needs a center. So that's what we're going to work on with these and see if we can make these flowers come to life just by putting a little bit of embellishments on them. And you know, sometimes that's what a card needs. It just needs a little bit of embellishment. So that sheet is done. How about that? We're going to throw that one out. And I still have some on this one. These are the small ones too. So I'm going to go ahead and use some off of here and just finish this off like that. And I'm trying to decide if I want to put one right here. Oh, why not? It looks cute. I think that's good. So I'm going to stick these back in my little sleeve. And now we need to decide what we want to put on our little piece for our sentiment. And I'm going to see if I can pop that out. And if I didn't get glue on it, which I did get a little bit right there, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on this. Now you can do, if you wanted to, you could put anything on here. You don't have to use a stamp set from here. So I'm going to grab a different stamp set, and y'all know I love my Peaceful Moments. This is in our annual catalog and one of my favorite happy birthday. I'm going to make this a birthday card. We're always in need of birthday cards. So I am going a thank you card or a birthday card, but I'm going to do, well, you know what, the thinking of you with all my heart, that would be something that could be very generic. Let's do that one. Still, this stamp set, Peaceful Moments, is a stamp set to have. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's got so many wonderful sentiments on it. So I'm going to use a stamp block, and I am going to pick this up like that, and I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to get my Night of Navy ink, since we're kind of going with that theme, and I am going to ink this up, and then I'm going to try to get this as nice and straight as I can, and then I'm going to put this down, and I'm kind of eyeball it. And hope I didn't wiggle it. If I did, I'll have to cut another piece. Let's hope I didn't. Very pretty. And I didn't wiggle it. So I love that font. I think it's just kind of whimsical, and it's fun. So now we can take this and pop it back in. Now if you want to secure this, what I would do is run a little bit of glue. Let's see if we can get a little bit of glue right here. I did finally get this bottle to start coming out for me. So I'm going to secure it on that corner right there, just like that. Alright, and now I'm just going to come over to this side, and I'm going to run a little bit of glue, oops, wrong side, right here on this front corner, and I am going to pull those flowers back and see if I can tuck that right under there, And I want to wiggle it because I want to make sure I get it down so that it's in there nice and straight. Now if you want to, you can come back and just put a little glue like that just to make sure it tacks it down. Maybe a little bit under here as well. And then everything is sitting like it should. So let's bring our card back over. And now this can go right here like that. And all we're going to need to do in order to do that is put some adhesive on this back side. So I'm going to look again. It looks like from this flower down, so like from there down, I know I need adhesive. I'm going to use some of my Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to run Stampin' Seal right there, a little bit there, and right to that edge right there. That should give me exactly what I need to center this right along here. So once I look at that and make sure it's right, and that looks really good, I'm going to pat that down, and now that label is in there. And isn't that pretty? So now we can put something behind here if you want to. If you don't want to, you can very easily come over here and put a panel here and here and have another space. I think some little something there is kind of called for. So what I'm going to do, let me wipe my pen off. Now that I got my glue flowing again, I don't want to do anything that's going to mess that up. And I need to decide exactly what I want under here. You know, some of these little flowers would be cute, beautiful on here. We could very easily die cut some of these and put them down like this. Let's see if we can cut. I don't know if I want that or if I want to put a little something there. Thinking of you with all my heart. I think what I'm going to do is use my oval punch. I'll do this one. This is the Label Me Fancy. That would definitely fit under there. Let's see if our oval would fit under there. The oval will fit under there too. Let's do the oval. And I'm going to actually do this in blue. I think what I want to do is I want my scallop to be blue. So I'm going to punch out my scallop first. And then I'm going to take a piece of white. Look, I can get both out of it. If you only want to do the one, what I suggest doing is just grab your scissors and come over and cut you a strip off like that. And then you can slide this down in here. And that way you can just get your little oval without wasting a bunch of unnecessary paper. So, and I'm using all scraps, so on this one I'm going to put, I really wanted to get well, but I don't see get well. They've got everything. Thinking of you with all my heart. We could do the word love. I got the word love right there. That would be cute. So let's grab the word love. Love's always a beautiful sentiment to send to anyone. You know, that's something that we all crave, is to be loved. And sometimes there just doesn't seem to be enough of love in this world. So it's up to us to love one another. So I'm going to put that down right there, and I'm going to grab my blue ink again. I'm grabbing that Night of Navy. And love. Very pretty. Then I can put this down. I'm going to glue this flat down because I don't need any dimension, because I want this to sit inside and I want it to sit nice and flat. So there we go. And that can go right behind that little panel right there. I need to zoom y'all back out. I am so sorry. I zoom y'all in so you can see, and then I forget. Hopefully y'all saw what I just did. I'll find out when I edit. All right. Get my pen back in my glue, and see that will fit right up underneath there, just like that. Love it. Love, love, love. Isn't that so pretty? I also want to use that new ribbon because that new ribbon is just so pretty. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm thinking maybe a bow right here would be so pretty on this particular card. I am going to come back in and I'm going to use Stampin' Seal just to put a piece across there and adhere this down right about, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay this right here. And then I'm going to bring the card to it. And that way I know that it's going to cover it. And that worked out perfect. All right, let's see if we can do us a little bow with this ribbon. This is such pretty, pretty ribbon. So I'm going to do, and we're going to do a double bow. The double bows have become more of my specialty than the single. When I first learned to do this, it was the single bow, but I like the looks of the double bow much better. So that's usually what I make. Get these down on my finger, and then snug it up and slide it off. Like that. Pull my tails down, and there is our cute little double bow. See, I'm much better at making the double bows than I am the single bows. And we can snip that off. And I've got another piece of ribbon I can use to decorate. I will not throw that piece away because you can always decorate. And I think this would be so cute right about here. Or do I want it here? I think I want it right here. Yeah, right there. I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to grab some glue dots. And pull these out. And I think I might need 2 on this just to kind of hold everything in place. Let's see. Which side do I want? That to the front or this to the front? I think this to the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the back of my knot of my bow right onto a glue dot and pick it up. And you know, I think one might do it. So then I'm going to set this up right about like that and just let it kind of cradle those flowers. See what I mean? Now we're going to cut a piece of white to go right here. And this can be either you can stamp some sentiments on here, or you can leave it open to write a note on, whichever you want to do. So I'm going to grab another piece of scrap cardstock, and I've got plenty. And I would challenge you to reach into your scrap bin. Look, that is perfect. We just need to cut off the width of it. So, I know that this piece needs to be my ruler. Two and 3/4. We're going to do this at 2 1/2. So let's pull in our trimmer and cut it at 2 1/2. That. And again, like I said, if you wanted to decorate this piece, you most certainly could. If you want to write a note to go in it, you could do that as well. I am not going to glue this piece down yet because I'm going to want to send this card to someone, and I want to hand write a note for the inside. But this is our card. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the process. Let me move everything out of my way, and I'm going to bring both of these cards over and show you. This is both cards, both of them done just a tiny bit different, but the same layout. Aren't they gorgeous? I love, love, love how these cards turned out. I hope you did. I hope you enjoyed watching the process, and I hope that you would try it. And if you do try it, share pictures over on our Facebook group, and that's Kathy's Random Acts of Stampin'. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, please do so. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate a subscription to that too. It's totally free, and if you ring that bell, you can choose how you want to receive your notifications, whether you just want to get some or all. And you're not under any obligation. So if you do decide to ring the bell and get all notifications, you'll just be notified every time that I go live or I put up a recorded video. So that way you can keep up with everything that's going on here in my craft room. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As I always say in closing, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is worthy. So until we craft again, God bless and keep you. Love you guys so much. Bye-bye.